Hello everyone, we are live. Welcome to the third webinar, which is going to be on how to drop 2 dress sizes in 8 weeks, so for Christmas time, and we're going to be covering the training tonight. So just as I'm introducing myself, I'm John again. Could everybody just give me a little shout in the comment box, just to let me know and John know that we can hear you, that you can hear us and you can see us as well. So we're not going to wait for you to do your comments. We're just going to get straight into it, and then obviously as we go on, we'll know that you can hear and see us. Okay. All right. So like I said, today's going to be on training. So we've covered nutrition. We covered mindset first, then nutrition, and now we're going to get into the kind of icing on the cake, which is training. John's got some really, really deep kind of techniques that we're going to go into. You know, things that you don't really necessarily see in a gym. You know, John and myself have got 20 years experience between us with the training side of it. So I'm going to hand you over to John, and he's going to start the webinar.
Sure. All right. Okay. Thanks, Barry. I think when we were planning this, as with the other subjects we covered, we're going to start this week with a lot of the mistakes that people would normally make. So you're sat there and you're thinking, right, okay, I'm going to lose a bit of weight, so I'm going to head down to the gym and I'm going to go and start doing some training to lose this weight. So what sorts of things are people normally going to do? The sorts of things that spring to mind are hammering the cardio, so going to spend an hour on a treadmill or an hour on a bike. And I used to go to drop and just got do it also whilst the traffic was going, and used to see people in there sat reading on a bike.
Yeah. The OK magazine.
Yeah, reading OK, and then walk past her in the cafe afterwards eating a cake, complaining for friends that his gym stuff isn't working. Right, so that doesn't work. All right, just going to do endless cardio. Doing classes like body pump or spinning or step or just
yeah. I heard a couple of shockers today as well. Me to talk about nutrition, and they said they actually stopped training because they were on what's called like a mountain climber or something for an hour solid, and it like almost killed them. So like we're going to go into obviously. Some of the training you're not necessarily going to enjoy that much when you're doing it, but it has to be enjoyable to an extent.
The sessions with me, on the other hand, you will enjoy. They're amazing. They're great fun. You'll enjoy every second. No, I think, and again, if you go into a commercial gym, I don't know. I mean, I've been to most gyms in the area, and you can go there and be doing your own thing. And I watch some of the trainers work with their clients, and how often will you see someone go, right, okay, jump on the treadmill for 10 minutes, stand there with your arm over it and have a talk about what you've done at the weekend, and that's your warm-up. And I don't know, to me it's just, there's a lot of rubbish out there. There are some really good trainers, some really quality fitness professionals out there.
I mean, I can empathise as well. You know, when I first started out, I wouldn't be training the same as I would be doing like now.
No.
So we do empathise as well. You know, people starting out, it can be tough. You know, you obviously learn as you go along. But what we wanted to really kind of drill in today is, you know, we are going to go into the most effective things. So we really wanted to start with things that don't work. You know, so let's stay on the cardio, because I think a lot of people do go to the gym and they spend an hour on the bike or 30 minutes on the treadmill. I think.
So let's talk cardio then. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing cardio, and certainly I think if you enjoy running, to get out and go for a run, nothing wrong with that. Running if someone's chasing you, also good. But let's look at what cardio does. So say you go and do steady state cardio for an hour in the gym, that's probably going to burn a couple of 100 calories. And it will do nothing more than that.
Yeah.
So, in the grand scheme of things, you know,
the big downside to that as well is obviously the impacts on people's joints. You know, a lot of people moan to me about hips, knees getting really, really you know, like injuries, like knee pain, that kind of thing. I get a lot of people coming to me with that issue, and normally it is a case that they've been running or been doing the bike for too long. You know, there's all these imbalances that start happening. So I always say there's nothing wrong with going on a run now and again, but you really do have to condition your body properly, you know, to enable yourself to run for that long.
There is a place for cardio, but it's not for weight loss.
Yeah. And let's put it this way as well, you never see a healthy looking marathon runner. You know, if you can show me a healthy looking marathon runner, then I'll give you £1 million. You just don't see one. They look, you know, really slim, very aged, a lot of stress going on in the body. You know, if you compare that to a sprinter, for example, those sprinters don't look like that because they sprint. They look like that because of the training that we're going to sort of go into later on. You know, it's a completely different ballgame.
It is, and we'll sort of tell you how we work with clients later on. Another one I want to cover as well that you see people going and doing is spinning. And there's actually something I've heard people mention within the sort of fitness instructor forums I'm part of, and that's that you get kind of fat spinning instructors. And there's a very good reason for this. Have you ever seen them? You got fat instructors or fat aerobics instructors. I mean, they're doing like an hour's high intense workout, and everyone's getting a really good sweat on, but everything comes back to hormones, and what you're doing is putting your body under a huge amount of stress. So you're going there for fat loss, but what you're actually doing is telling your body to store fat. You're putting it under just such a vast amount of stress that you're being counterproductive. So if you really enjoy it, there's probably kind of a 20-minute spin class, so a 20-minute high-intense training session is absolutely fine. But to go for an hour's high-intense workout is really poor. And the other thing I want to touch on is when you go to places like Body Pump, again, I've been at commercial gyms and seen some of the classes that are going on there. And there's always people stood at the back and they're doing squats with just really bad technique. There's people getting injured through bad technique, which again is something that we are passionate about, that when you start working with us, we make sure that you're exercising safely. The things that you'll be doing will be big exercises. They're going to be challenging to your body, but we're going to do it in a really safe way. And if your biomechanics don't allow you to do that, some people, I can never get to squat properly. Doesn't matter, we could spend months doing it. It's just not going to happen. There's ways around it. You know, there's lots of different options. You don't have, you know, if you can't do one thing, we'll do something else.
Something like that. Working the same muscle groups, isn't it?
Exactly. There's ways of working up to it and working different muscle groups or the same muscle groups with a different technique that's more suitable to a person. And
talking about big compound exercises, you know, we're talking about things like squats, deadlifts, presses, pull-ups, that kind of thing. You know, you don't have to go heavy. Like if someone said deadlift or squat to you, you know, you might be thinking you've got a big bar on the back of your neck, you know, and people load them up with weights. It doesn't have to be like that. As long as you're doing it very safely and effectively, you're working your body as a whole. So you get your legs, your core, your back, you know, your stabilizers. Everything's working at the same time. So you're going to get lots of muscle activation. Then it turns into what we call the afterburn as well. So as long as your rest times are very structured and not too long, you're going to create a very good afterburn for the next 24 hours as well afterwards, even 36 hours.
Yeah, very much so. Well, I think it's kind of an ongoing thing, but I'll explain why the work that we do kind of works and keeps on working and keeps on working, which is, we kind of move on now to, you need to understand what you're training for. So what's your objective when you're training? This almost comes right back to the start, this kind of circle that we've got with the way we work with our clients of mindset. What are you training for? What's the objective? So to get to your objective, do you need to lose weight or body fat? Right, okay, let's presume for the sake of this webinar that the people watching are looking to lose some weight or lose some body fat, okay?
Sorry, before you go ahead, let's get a few people just put in a couple of comments of what they actually want to get out of their training as well, just so we can almost tailor this a little bit as we go along.
We won't name you, but you can just so and so absolutely wants to lose weight.
Yeah.
So just if you can just a couple of words of what you're trying to do. But again, let's talk losing weight. Should we? Okay. So how do you go about, or what are the best exercises for losing fat? This is something that you quite often get asked. What's the best exercise for getting a flat stomach? The best exercises are resistance-based exercises. So we just talked about deadlifts and squats. Those are always going to be the absolute essentials for any fitness training program to start losing body fat and weight. And there's a really good reason for this, that those are going to make your body work the hardest. We're going to start building some nice lean muscle. Now, ladies especially, you need to be lifting weights, okay? What won't happen is you pack a load of muscle on. You need testosterone to build muscle.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean you're going to grow a beard if you're a female. It doesn't really work like that.
Well, unless you're taking something really dodgy, you ladies don't have a great deal of testosterone, so you'll find it very difficult to build a load of muscle. So compared to a guy who will put muscle on.
Well, even guys like struggle. Like I always say to my clients, you know, even guy clients, they struggle to put a lot of muscle on. So the chances of a female getting bulky is very, very kind of slim.
Greg can never put any muscle on.
No. Look at that, tiny. I think you're right.
So yeah, if we're talking about weight loss, the exercises that we really need to keep the core of our training programs are squats, deadlifts, bench presses, which Greg mentioned before, compound exercises. And a compound exercise is something that works across several different joints. So a squat, for example, will work across your hip joint, your knee, and your ankle. It's also really working your core. So when I say core, I don't mean endless sit-ups. I mean, you think of your spine, everything, all the muscles around that axial skeleton is your core.
So it's drawing the waist in.
Yeah, everything is going to work with a squat and a deadlift. So as I said, for women, what we're looking to do is try and increase muscle. The reason we want to increase muscle is because that's going to increase your metabolism. So again, something Greg mentioned before is that an exercise will then be effective long after you're actually doing it. So straight after the workout, your body's trying to repair itself straight away. So for the next 36 hours, you are burning 2 or 3 times more calories than you would do normally, just doing your everyday things, because you're trying to repair.
Yeah.
When your body repairs, it's going to repair with the muscle fibers there'll be more of them, you'll be stronger, and those burn more calories. So again, your metabolism has now raised.
So these are effectively like the cheats. Like you can cheat your way to a better body doing these kind of things, because you don't have to be in the gym 5-6 days a week doing these cardio exercises. You can do.
I know people who are really lean, proper ripped physiques, and they train 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And they eat a ton of food as well. This is not about starving. You'll see on the on the nutrition plan that we give to you guys that it's far from starving. It's eating as much as you possibly can get away with whilst being in a slight calorie deficit.
Yeah.
So
basically, because it doesn't give you like the nutrition. We're not talking about nutrition today, but the nutrition you can get away with eating a lot more because it doesn't give you these kind of spikes in insulin. You know, you're not getting these cravings all the time. Everything's very kind of balanced and neutral. You know.
Yeah.
And just going back to the training again. So we're talking about big compound lifts. The cheat tactics are when you're training, the training is very effective. You're not going to the gym just doing a little bit of cross train, a little bit of body pump. You get we track everything, so everything's progressive. So you can actually log your weights down as well, so you know you're increasing in strength and increasing, your own personal progression over a nice period of time. So then when you do have your rest day, I mean, this isn't all about training. You really need to understand that having a strategic rest day or a rest period is very, very essential for, you know, muscle growth, muscle repairing, regeneration, what word am I thinking?
I'm going to sit back and wait.
Re-energize, you know, re-energize your nervous system. You know, you can't continue doing these sort of workouts 6 days a week.
No.
Your nervous system will literally start to shut down because it'll just go into complete shock. So you are shocking your body, and that's the cheat tactic. So you have the rest, you continue to burn calories again. Those calorie burnings actually overlap as well. So when you get to the next training session, you're still calorie burning.
Yeah.
So it starts overlapping and doubling up. It's very, very quick fat loss.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, that's the base of how we will start somewhat on a fat loss program. Is that we'll actually start you with lifting, and we'll do that safely. And we'll spend time making sure your technique's absolutely spot on. Obviously, you know, big lifts like deadlifts and squats, you can get them wrong, which is why obviously we're professional trainers. This is what we do every day. We make sure that you're right. And then we can start throwing in, after you've done some strength-based work, some high-intense training. Now, that does not mean spinning. Well, that means a short, sharp burst. Now, this morning I started to work with one of the groups from our very private training clients. And we did 6 minutes of high intense training. I can assure you that was enough. Yeah, it's only early days for the guys. We don't push it too far. Everyone trains at their own pace. But that, after we've done some strength training, is just super effective. Not only is their fitness going through the roof, and let me also say, these are guys who have just started training again. There's no athletes in this group. These are people, this is their first week of training. They were doing pull-ups. They were doing deadlifts.
Yeah,
they were doing
posted on
bench
the group,
presses.
weren't they, like, can't believe doing pull-ups.
Those people have walked out of this place this morning 10 feet tall. Yeah? That is what we want from a training session. But anyway, I'm digressing slightly. So they've done some strength work, and then we did some high intense training. So they've worked for 1.5 minutes at a time. We've done 4 exercises, and that's enabled them to absolutely smash it for that time. The amount of calories that they've burned is probably not as much as doing an hour run during that 6 minutes. However, that 6 minutes is going to keep on working and keep on working and keep on working. Yeah?
Because of the intensity.
So it's a super effective time, and it's varied and it's interesting. I can't think of anything more dull than standing on a treadmill watching the back of somebody's head.
Also, you're only working your legs, aren't you? So the high intensity we're talking about, you know, it's not like being on a treadmill. It's, you know, things like ball slams, mountain climbers, renegades, jumping squats. Yeah. You're tackling all different angles with your body. So it's not, that's the anchor burning.
This morning we did a baseball bat on one of the punch bags. Some aggression came out on that one. We did some boxing.
Yeah.
We did some explosive drags with a sled, and we did some battle ropes.
Yeah.
So it was quite an upper body workout because the guys were a little bit sore from earlier in the week on the legs. So we tailored the workout especially for them, so they're not working things that they're hurting with at the moment. But again, that's kind of what we do. We can swap and change routines specifically for you. And this again comes back to allowing for decent time for recovery. Yeah, really important. Otherwise, you're just going to end up injured. So those of you, again, going back to not sure what to do, how often you train. If you're trying to get into a new regime, don't go out and try and train 7 days a week. It's almost like ruined.
You can get like the diet, you know, like the diet mindset when people do a diet for 7 days. That you can actually get caught in the whole training. I don't know what you call it for, you know, that select number of days, but it's on the same scale as going on a diet. Some people go to the gym for 7 days, they kill it, and then they're like exhausted and think, oh, I'm not getting results.
It's almost like a whole crash lifestyle change, isn't it? Which it crashes. That's exactly what it does.
And I actually was speaking to a couple of clients today, the people that just joined My Nutrition. They were kind of saying that all or nothing. So it took a few kind of, you know, a few different conversations for myself to try and put across that this really has to turn into a lifestyle. You know, if you're thinking you want to get into some sort of training and you have to do it 7 days a week, and it really doesn't need to be like that. Like you can just, like I said, the whole strategy is training. You need your rest, your re-energizing stages as well. You continue to fat burn, then you train again, maybe 2 days later, you start the process off again. It doesn't have to take over your life. And this is what, you know, we do ourselves. It's what we teach to our clients. I train 3 to 4 times a week. I maintain a nice kind of figure for myself. I'm not really bothered about going into any physique competitions. I just like to look, and well, it's not actually a look for me. I always talk about, you know, how I train is more about how I feel. I want to feel good. I want to feel strong. It affects my mindset. So I don't actually train to look good. I don't really care. I'm not really that kind of shallow. I mean, some people really love to train just because they want to look good, but you know, I'm not going to go into my spirituality.
I think we've got.
We haven't got time for that.
We've got a really important question just come through there, which is, do you begin and start with stretches and a warm up?
Yeah.
What you quite often see, again, you're going to train a stud there and just throwing a client on a treadmill for 10 minutes to warm up. What we do is we get your muscles into really good condition. We go through some self-myofascial release techniques, which is foam rollering, use some bands, use some balls, we use some mobilization techniques. So that essentially your muscles are in very, very good condition. What happens when you train or just generally through life is that you damage muscles. Muscle fibers should grow kind of straight, and if you think of not only a shallot sort of shape, which is almost like a muscle, and the muscle fibers will run straight down this sort of shape. Sometimes they'll grow back crisscross, and you won't be able to stretch the muscle on this adhesion on the muscle. What we do is we roll those out so the muscle functions properly, and it's really, really important. It prevents injuries and it allows things like squats to be over a good range of motion. So instead of getting halfway down, you can get all the way down. You're really sort of mobile and flexible.
Yeah, because you start getting all the way down and not activating the right muscle groups. So that's,
exactly.
So again, that affects your results as well.
Yeah, and this week alone, we've given a couple of people techniques to go home and do just to sort of strengthen and stretch certain joints that it's just going to benefit them in life in general. Things that pop up. So yes, you do warm up, but it's probably a little bit more in depth than what you would see in a commercial gym, where we'd like to go a little bit further with it if possible.
Personally, for me as well, I do the foam rolling as well. My clients, like we obviously keep it, you know, the same because if we're doing group training, so we inject our own kind of knowledge and personality into it. What I tend to do as well with warm-ups is a little bit more kind of activating the right nervous system. So a lot of my clients, or a lot of our clients, I should say, they come in and they can be very stressed from jobs. They can be, you know, they might have had an argument with someone, they've not had the best day, they're not eating enough, you know, they're running around looking after kids. I'm sure you can empathize with that. I don't have kids. Yes. So they can be very stressed when they come in. So it'd be my job to kind of switch 2 different types of nervous system. It's parasympathetic and sympathetic. So my job would then be to get them into the right nervous system state. So that would allow a lot of muscle tension to kind of ease in the body as well. It's a really nice drill if you struggle sleeping. It's called deep diaphragmatic breathing, and it just puts your body into parasympathetic mode, which is a nice calm state. So again, it's working a little bit deeper, but it allows your nervous system just to say, you know, okay, great, everything's kind of calm, and we can get into these movements a lot deeper. Because if your body's in a stress state, it'll kind of lock tight, and it won't allow you to kind of move and function in the right way. So I do things like breathing drills, lots of weird eye drills, also things called body raking, which is waking up your nervous system by raking your body. So you go over all your joints. These are done at the before a session or even after a session. It depends on how I structure it. And yeah, it's a bit of a different technique, but it really works. I've had lots of clients with frozen shoulders. You know, a couple of breathing drills later, they can get full range of movement in their hands and in their shoulders. People stop going to these drills as well, so they save them a lot of money. And it's very kind of strange. You have to kind of see it, believe it. But yeah, that's kind of my kind of niche. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for it. How about we move on to how? Let's be a bit more specific. Should we release? We've not told anyone about the 8-week properly as yet.
Yes. So I mean, we obviously formed this group training. The main reason why we did it is because, I'll give you a little bit of background. I got money for our project, just shy of about £3,000. So we wanted to really kind of inject our, technique and our experiences over the last 10 years together and create a nice group training environment where people can come in and actually do training. But it's in a group environment, so it's not boot camp, it's not gym classes, it's not any things you see online. Yeah. Stick to the same exercises, and then obviously we mix it up and add our own personality in with the high intensity training. So the structure of the 8-week program, which we are going to be revealing after tonight, is actually, do you want to go into that, because we've got 3 phases which you really nailed down.
Right. Yeah. Can everyone hear us again? I think we just dropped out for a second there.
Oh God.
Are we back? We live? Yeah. Right. Okay. I'll presume that we are. I think there's a question being asked about stress on there, which perhaps we'll answer that one privately with you, because it shouldn't be an issue, but we won't mix it up with what we're talking about tonight. So we'll come back to you on that one individually. Mm-hmm. Right. So the program itself, this is for our 8-week drop 2 clothing sizes before Christmas
challenge. It's a challenge.
Yeah. It's going to work in 3 phases. Our first phase is called ignition. So ignition phase, we get you in and will run right the way through the program, but you start at whatever is your start position. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. This is all about what you can do and challenging yourself, at this stage. So we're going to spend 2 weeks just getting the basics right, setting up the whole fat loss process, igniting that fat loss process, okay? The following 2 weeks is called accelerate, where we really start ramping it up a little bit. You're going to be building on what you've already done, yeah? You're building on this base, you're increasing volume. I think we might have disappeared again, but so yeah, we're increasing volume, we're changing the exercises slightly to keep it nice and varied for you. And all of this, every single session also has a short, high intense workout in it. Once we've got through this 2-week accelerate phase, we then move into the fast lane, which is 4 weeks, okay? This is where the magic really happens. You spend 4 weeks setting up the process, your diet is right, your mindset is right, your technique is right. These 4 weeks are going to be huge. You're going to be doing things you never thought you would be able to do. You will be doing pull-ups, you will be doing deadlifts, you will be doing bench presses. And you know what? You'll be doing them well, and you'll be looking to beat what you did last time. Okay? That's what you're going to get. It's all structured for you. Yeah? You have ourselves and our team are there for you to make sure you're doing this safely. You're going to be challenging your own training, nobody else's. You're not competing with anyone. Okay? And you can come into this at any stage.
Savage just said, I like the sound of the fast lane. Everybody does, but you've got to start in the ignition phase first.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, we've started trialing some of this, and we've got people that are on day 4. Yeah. Day 4 with it at the moment. So they've trained twice and already lost 4 pounds.
No, Paolo's actually lost. It was 3.5 kilos. No, 3 kilos, which is
4 days.
Oh, right.
I said this morning.
Oh, right. So that must be a new one, wasn't it?
That was, so yeah, we had someone this morning who started Monday, has already lost 4 pounds. And that's with the training and the nutrition. So don't think that just because we're setting up your strength and technique base to start with, that you're not seeing huge changes, because you absolutely will be. If you do, you are going to see huge, see them fast.
And also, I just wanted to add, you know, obviously in all these phases, we have the nutrition phases as well. So they're all built in alignment with the training. You know, I get asked a lot about kind of nutritional advice, and I tend not to give advice too much now. I don't really like the whole advice thing. So what we did is we completely built the systems, you know, rather than saying, go and have your protein and your veg. You know, nobody really understands what to cook, so we have a complete cookbook nutrition program in alignment with this. So yeah, we're not really kind of advice givers. We have the tools. You've just got to do it. It's as simple as that, if that makes sense. So what we've got for you is, obviously we're taking you through the 3 different phases. The ignition phase, which is igniting fat loss, that's done through the nutrition and the training. We have the, what was the other one? Accelerator phase, which takes you, you know, obviously once you start getting results, then you can start progressing. The nutrition changes slightly just to, you know, fuel your body for the training sessions. And then the fast lane, that's when you really kind of get into the results and start, you know, your body shape really starts changing, and also your mind, like your mind and the way you feel, you completely start turning into a different person.
This is not complicated. This is all done for you. There's no...
Yeah, you just turn up.
No hassle.
You turn up, you do your training, you coach properly, and you follow your nutrition. And, you know, it's not like rabbit food or anything like that. Proper meals, you know, things you can have. The whole reason why we created the cookbook and the nutrition program is because we wanted to educate people. We want to, you know, people to understand what they can have. You know, you might end up doing 2 weeks, 3 weeks into it, and you start making your own little dishes, things that you start understanding the basic foundations. It's not diet, it's understanding, you know, the actual foundations to, you know, to your lifestyle. And all you've got to do is get a little bit prepared, but, you know, at the end of the day, anybody has the time to get a little bit prepared. So it's an 8-week program. We've got the ignition phase, the accelerate phase, and also the fast lane. 8-week program. We're coming up to Christmas. You know, we want everyone doing this program dropping 2 clothing sizes or more. That's the kind of client we want on it. The results are absolutely guaranteed. We have a very exciting launch offer at the moment, which this program should be £600, but we have a launch offer at the moment for £399 for the whole 8-week program, training 3 times a week, all your nutrition absolutely sorted for you. You don't even have to think, you just get on with it.
Come and do it.
Okay, so if anybody has any last minute questions, we'd be really happy to answer. I know you've got a few questions in there. Yes.
I think we'll answer this one about stress and how that will affect skin. Now, I think what you'll find is that, and I find this quite a lot, is that when you start altering your diet and allowing your body to clean itself up, that a lot of the skin problems disappear along with that. the stress that we put on your system through exercise, the high intense training, it does put stress on your system. It damages muscles through the strength training phase. The high intense workout is a short workout. It only puts enough stress on your system to allow fat loss. So if you went and smashed out an hour's spinning, that would put a ton of stress on your system. What we're doing is putting the right amount of stress on your system to allow you to hit your goals. So no, it absolutely shouldn't cause any skin flare-ups. In fact, I'm not a skin specialist. I'm not going to say it's going to cure it, but I reckon you'll see a huge positive change in your skin.
Yeah, and I know this might sound a little bit harsh, Saviour, but you know, you're a smoker. What do you think is going to have the most stress? You know, the training or the smoking you're doing? You know, you've got the choices there. You know, which one are you going to take? You know, which one are you going to give up? Sorry to put that very bluntly, but it's the truth. So if anybody else has any questions, Saviour, it starts on the 26th of October. So we've got the start date, the 26th. It takes you straight up to Christmas.
Which, if you're watching it live, that is a week on Monday. We're starting.
So we're just going to hang on for any more questions that might trickle through. But that really is kind of the juice of it today. Saviour's just responded, I know. She knows. She knows the score. So yeah, like I said, we have this launch offer, $399. It's, you know, we're looking for people who want the results and have been really kind of confused of what to do, where to start. You just want a done for you program. You just want to, you know, stop thinking about it and just do it, because there's so many people out there doing all these different programs. And to be honest, unless you've got your training aligned with your nutrition, if you're doing a diet group and some classes at the gym, they're not aligned. They're kind of like, you know, they're just dysfunctional. They don't go hand in hand.
Yeah, we have your training. We have your training and eating in the right way to hit the right goals. Where is the training help? It's at our private gym, which is in Stockport. It's only a couple of minutes off the M60 or a couple of minutes off the A6. Just near Stepping Hill Hospital, if you know that one.
You'll get all the details, Saviour, anyway, because I know you're on the program. So if anybody else has any questions, please fire them through.
And if you're watching this recorded, then by all means get in touch with us on our Facebook page, Very Private Training, or you could email us or find us on Facebook personally, Greg Johnson, John Preston. By all means, add us, send us a message.
Don't know, is there anything you want to cover last minute?
Nope, no, we're done. I think we're ready to just do it.
Ready to stop talking, start doing now. All right, guys, so thank you very much for attending the webinar. If you're watching this on the recording, like John said, you can get in touch with us on Facebook through the website. You can apply for, there should be links under this video somewhere. I'm sure there will be in the near future when we get this video uploaded. There's going to be links where you can click through and start your process. Thanks, Saviour. You're enjoying the chicken and chickpea mash, so that's great. All right, guys, so thank you very much for attending. Like I said, you should be able to find a link around this page and you'll be able to start your process from there. Thank you, Emma. Great to have you on. Speak soon, guys.
Big mission. Yeah.